Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Sin Permiso, a Latina lifestyle podcast. Bienvenidos a otro episodio. Welcome to another episode of Sin Permiso podcast, a Latina lifestyle podcast. And we are live in DC. I have a powerhouse broker out of Nashville, Tennessee, Angelina Romero. She's the owner broker of Century 21 in Nashville. She's also a board member for NAREP. She also has her own podcast. Welcome, Eva.
Thank you, sister. I'm so happy to be here with Peggy. I'm so excited about your podcast.
Thank
I'm excited
you.
You're doing it in DC at our wealth conference.
We had a great conversation earlier today. We were talking about being genuine and showing vulnerability. I know you juggle many balls. You know, you're a mother, you're a business owner, you help your husband with his business.
Yeah.
I want to hear a little bit about how you grew up and where did you get this motivation and this money mindset from? Your family, yourself, experience?
I just got the chills when you asked me that because I'm like, it brings me back to growing up in inner city LA and being the one of a lot of firsts in my family. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I was married at a very young age. I had just turned 14, and that really shaped my life. Married at 14 in inner city LA really shaped who I am today. I learned a lot.
You were a young mom?
A young mom. I was a teen mom at 16, 17, and I didn't want to be part of the statistic. Education was like my pathway out of poverty. Back then, everybody was like, get a four-year college degree, get a four-year college degree. And I was that person, and I still am for it in some cases. Became a teacher, first to graduate high school, first to go to college in my family, all the things as a teen mom. But then I realized, Peggy, I wasn't making enough money to sustain my family. Like I was a teacher. I made it through college. I was super excited, making an income. And I did not know much about financial literacy.
Because they don't teach that to us in the schools.
They don't. And I was teaching my kids, my high school kids, on how to get an education, how to get out of poverty, all the things that I had learned. But I realized at like 28, 29 that I had no idea about financial literacy. I took a personal finance class in high school, and that was it. I remember getting my credit card at 18, that, Capital credit card that everybody gets when you turn 18.
Capital One.
Capital One. And I'm like, okay.
With the exorbitant interest rates.
Oh my gosh.
And the fees.
Anyway, college educated, everything. And then I became part of the NAREP Familia. A broker that was helping me sell my home when I was going through my divorce said, have you thought about real estate? And I said, oh my gosh, I'm a teacher. I love what I do, but I can't even look people in the eye. How business? Long story short, got in the business, connected with my NAREP Familia, changed my life forever. My network, the people around me have helped elevate my businesses, me as a leader, and everything is history. It really is your network. Who you know and who knows you,
So you moved from LA. How was that move?
Oh, it was like night and day. Growing up in inner city LA, the majority is Latino. Mm-hmm. So when I came to Tennessee 13 years ago, I didn't see a lot of Latinos in Nashville. I love Nashville, great city, but the cultural tapestry has changed in the last 13 years with Latinos still very much going to be a majority, probably by 2040 in inner city Nashville. Started my business there, left teaching, still do a lot of things within that space as far as mentorship, but I left teaching. It wasn't unfortunately paying the bills, but I also fell in love with real estate, Peggy, because I found financial literacy. I learned financial literacy.
And not only did you learn it, real estate is the vehicle with which you teach it to others.
Yes. And that's what I do. That's what we do on a daily basis, like teach our clients. We know that homeownership is a cornerstone of building wealth in this country. I know it. I've experienced it firsthand. So I want to teach it to my clients, teach it to my students, teach it to everybody I can talk to. The NAREP 10 have been like great principles that I live by and I've learned. All the things about paying your debt and, get involved in policy and who's making decisions, all the things that I wish they would teach in school, to our young people.
I know, I do too. Definitely we need some sort of education besides the one that we give them at home, because luckily we've learned it the hard way, so we have the opportunity to teach our children that. Yeah. And earlier we were talking about, everyone has a different style of sales. Your style clearly is an educational style, but it's not about being salesy. We were talking about how when you're genuine and you care and you are vulnerable, people like you. It resonates. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, people want to be human. I mean, nowadays with social media, it could be good or bad, but you don't even know what's real, what's not. People are not always authentic. And I think people are craving authenticity. They're craving people that actually care about these decisions, and also learning from you as a practitioner. Like I tell people my story just because I think people can resonate. I connect with people. I connect people here in RF, rags to riches stories. You hear that and you're like, you just people want to know that you actually care.
Yes.
And that you actually can help. And sometimes sharing those vulnerable things about our life help other people, like just motivate and inspire other people. And I don't think you need to sugarcoat it. I don't think you just need to be, look, this is the pathway. We can all do it. And what are the tools, right? So I think people are craving that, Peggy. People are craving people to actually care. It's not only about the sale.
To be real, to show the good, the bad, the ugly.
Everything.
But you found love again. You remarried. You have. Tell us your how many children. How do you balance all of this?
I consider this my first marriage because this is one I picked. My first one wasn't.
This was not arranged.
It was always arranged. My husband and I have been married now. We've been together for 15 years. Love it. We have 5 children. We have a big family. My oldest is almost 30. Can you believe that, Peggy?
Oh my God,
her.
this woman. I cannot believe it.
Yeah.
You look amazing.
Very fortunate. We're a big Latino family. I started all over. All my kids are grown, almost out of the house. And my husband and I decided to have another baby. So I have a 3-year-old toddler running around the house. But he keeps me real. My husband and I are entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
We have various different businesses, but I will say a lot of our business is in real estate. We're real estate investors, but we also do a couple of things in the medical field and other fun things that we're do. We're entrepreneurial, that. But one of the things is, one thing for sure, we've always invested in real estate. That is the best investment that we've seen in our portfolio. Mm-hmm. Like, hands down,
it is the safest investment. And speaking about entrepreneurship, tell us about your podcast.
Yeah, so my podcast is a passion project, Peggy. It really started with me. I'm finishing up my manuscript for my first book. And one of the things that inspired me is women and people sharing their stories with me on successes. Like, how did you do it, right? Like, I believe heavily in mentorship. Mm-hmm. Like, I had mentors. I still have a mentor. In connecting. That's why I love my Nara Familia, because like you, I can talk to you about a lot of things, not just real estate. So it's Elevate and Empower came out of that. Just, I want to give that to other people, young people, whatever. Just hearing other people's stories, bringing them on my podcast and saying, how did you do it? What were some of the challenges that you went through? And how did you thrive?
How did you overcome it?
Yes.
And it's definitely motivational, because I was telling someone the other day, there was a young gentleman who was listening to my podcast and was inspired to open his own trash removal company. So to me, just one person that listened, and maybe we changed the little thing of a course of their life. It's amazing. It's super important. So because you are a teen mom and you know what it's like, what piece of advice would you give a young girl that maybe she is a young mom, maybe she's not 15, maybe she's 18, maybe she's 20, 21, and she's thinking, how do I get ahead? I have this child, I have so much responsibility. Can it ever happen for me?
Oh, it can happen for you. I think a lot of times when you're in it, you don't see outside of what you're in. So I think you have to look outside of your circle sometimes to find and reach and ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. Like I ask for help still. Like, it's okay. And I think we come from a culture, well, that's kind of like, you don't ask for help, So you should ask for help. And there will be so many people willing to support you and help you. Being a teen mom doesn't have to define your future. If anything, that drove me to really not have my daughter and my kids go through the things I went through, the challenges I went through. So I think you have to dream bigger. If there's anything,
dream bigger.
And
don't be afraid.
No, don't be afraid. And there's so many people. I tell my people, like, people that are successful, Peggy, they want to help other people succeed. So if you reach out and say, listen, this is what I need, even if it's just somebody to talk to and help you put a plan together.
Bounce ideas off of, put a plan together, ask for opinions. That's huge. That's important. Inspire. So tell us, where can people listen to your podcast?
So my Instagram is Inspired Eva. Very simple. And my podcast is Elevate and Empower on Spotify. And the stories are just stories of people like you and I that have been through so much and still at it. It's like the story of resilience of like, it never stops. There's one thing that I will learn. You never, for many years, I thought you do all these things, you reach a level of success, and I'm done. If I get my college degree, then I'm done. If I do this, I'm done. It never stops, guys. You always have to grow and be a long life learner, and that's what it's about.
Oh, beautiful words. Thank you. But thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you for sharing with us your success. You're beautiful inside and out.
Thank you.
Thank you.